Okay, what's going on? Fitz for episode Big Blue and Bias.com. Thank you to those who've liked, commented, and subscribed. I appreciate you guys. If you guys can turn on notifications, so every time I post these videos, you get a notification and you can come join in on the conversation. There isn't much to talk about at this point in the off-season. We know that there's not going to be too many moves. We have no games or anything like that. But today there was voluntary OTAs, organized team activities. Again, voluntary. There were many big names that were not available, according to Dan Duggan of The Athletic. You're talking about Bradbury, Leonard Williams, Kenny Galladay, Saquon Barkley. Those guys, according to him, did not participate in these OTAs. But the interesting nugget here, the entire offensive line, according to Duggan, was there, and that's big. I've talked about this many times in terms of the Super Bowl winning offensive line that the Giants had back in 2007 and the group that they had created for many years that was very dominant for a decent stretch of time, but they played together a lot. You're talking about Seibert, Deal, O'Hara, McKenzie, Snee. Those players, that offensive line was a very cohesive unit. They played together for many, many games and many, many years. And there seemed to be legitimate chemistry there on and off the football field. They have to start doing that with their own offensive line, and I think that's kind of what they're trying to do with some of these younger pieces that are going to be on their team for many years, unless something happens, unless there's some trade, unless a player gets released because they're just not very good, or maybe a player like Will Hernandez is not brought back at the end of this year. This is his fourth season this upcoming year, which is pretty crazy. So this is the last year of his rookie contract. But you're looking at a lot of players like Thomas, Parrott. You expect those guys to be with the Giants for 3+ more seasons. You look at Nick Gates. He signed a contract extension last offseason. Shane Lemieux is going to be there for a little bit. So, and if Will Hernandez is brought back, you have some young pieces on that offensive line that you expect to be there for many years to come. You expect them to build a cohesive group, some chemistry. So I think that this is a good start. Now, obviously, we could talk about these kind of little things and say, oh, this is important. This is what you need to do in order to be successful. Yes, but it doesn't guarantee anything. It needs to be understood. Just because they're together in voluntary OTAs doesn't mean they're going to be good. They may be terrible this year. Okay? Let's not overreact to some of these things, but it's important to at least note it, to mention it, that there's at least an attempt for this unit to get together and get as many reps together as they possibly can, even if it's only an OTA, even if it's only kind of a practice, essentially. There's nothing too crazy about it. It's not a real game. But that's what you want to do. You want to build that chemistry on the offensive line. A lot of young pieces. They had their struggles last season. They weren't very good for most of the year. They played better towards the end. So there's that positive going into this upcoming season. But this is important, that they're back and that they're all ready to go. And they're showing up to voluntary OTAs. They're not messing around. Doesn't guarantee production, but I think that it at least shows what they're trying to do. They're trying to move forward, and they're trying to become the best unit that they could possibly be. And like I said, I think this is a nice step in that direction. Doesn't guarantee anything. Like I said, there's some big name players that were not available, according to Dan Duggan. And he didn't list the reason. They may have been inside, and they may have been whatever it might be, working with trainers, this or that. Who knows what it is? You don't want to take too much from that. You don't really know the real reasons, and we're certainly not going to create drama. I don't do that. We don't just speculate and make crazy conspiracies or anything crazy like that. This isn't First Take or anything. We try to analyze things in the most unbiased way possible, objectively as possible. We wait for the facts, and then we make an assumption. I tell you guys all the time. I want this channel to at least be a channel where you can kind of hear both sides. You can hear as many facts as possible, and then you make the ultimate decision. I don't really care too much about hot takes and this and that, which may at times make this channel a little bit boring. It may not be the most fun channel because I'm not saying crazy things, but I'm going to try and give you as much information as possible, especially when it comes to analytics, and we'll get more into that as the season approaches. There's not too much to talk about at the moment. We'll kind of break down some of the things that they did well and some of the things that they need to work on for this upcoming year, and we'll use analytics and we use some film and all of that. But that's what this channel is about. Maybe a little bit boring, but we're going to stick to the facts, and we're going to try and give you guys as many facts as possible so you can go ahead and make your own decision. I'm not telling you what to think. So that's that. Another interesting story, really has nothing to do with the Giants, but kind of. Ben McAdoo hired by the Dallas Cowboys as a consultant. By the way, that's got to be like the greatest job ever. Imagine being a football consultant. What do? You just hang out in the office and you just tell people, hey, this and that. Oh, this would be nice if you did that, or maybe that. You don't have to deal with the burden of being the head coach, the general manager, with the stress and expectations every single day. You just kind of offer suggestions. Obviously, Mike McCarthy's the head coach, and Ben McAdoo worked under McCarthy with the Green Bay Packers, and that's just kind of how this industry works. And that's how a lot of industries work. Really, it's just about connections. Obviously, McCarthy liked what Ben McAdoo did in Green Bay, and he brings Ben McAdoo back to his staff in Dallas. So it's interesting, but that's a great job. A football consultant? Damn. Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, so that's basically that. Nothing too crazy to take from voluntary OTAs. Like, apparently, the defensive backs were apparently not even able to, like, contest catches. So you're not going to take much from this. But I do find it interesting that the offensive line, everyone was there to get their reps in and kind of build a little bit more chemistry, as much chemistry as they can. I feel like these days, with all the different kind of CBA rules that were agreed upon, the practices are not like they used to be. Football is not like it used to be. I kind of miss it.